Today we're doing a 15-minute sequence focused on hip mobilization. So you don't need any props, but we're going to go ahead and start on some nice abdominal approximation, sitting nice and tall, inhaling through our nose, exhaling through our mouth. As you exhale, I'm going to pull up through my pelvic floor like I've got blueberries through the vaginal canal. I'm going to press in with my hands and press them in towards my midline or my linea alba, which is the fascial line between the abdominal structure, keeping my shoulders open. And when I exhale, I'm going to totally engage, and I'm going to inhale, release. Sorry about that. Get the little dog out of the way. You're going to exhale, approximate the core, pulling those low abs in, not crushing the blueberries, but just pulling them up inside. We're going to do two more. Nice big inhale, totally released. Exhale, pressing in, pulling it up through the vaginal canal, pressing in with those hands, finding that abdominal engagement, pelvic floor. Let's do one more for fun. Inhaling. Exhale, pressing it in, drawing those abs closed, finding that nice intense engagement. And then let's just back it off to release. All right, we'll see if Elliot can go lay on his own bed. Alrighty, here we go. We're just gonna get rocking and rolling back into this. I'm going to have you come to a nice seated position. We're going to have our fingertips behind us so we're not dumping down with our weight, but that we are just sort of lightly touching our fingers as we rock our hips side to side. Little rock and little rock. Just finding that beautiful mobilization. Opening up and moving through that hip joint, making sure that we don't rest too heavily in our hands. Let's go ahead and we're going to come to a little bit of a zigzag. Now, I have my foot not tucked too far behind me. It's in a nice angle where I still feel like I can connect and approximate my core. I'm going to just very gently mobilize that hip by lifting it up and tapping it down. And again, for two, it should not move too much. A little bit in the pelvis, but not too much. And 3. And exhale, 4, finding that beautiful engagement. And again for 5. And again for 6. Finding that nice connection. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Now I'm going to bring my foot out even a little bit more to open up that angle, not moving too much at the waist, but trying to lift my heel and internally rotate my thigh bone. Now, if I need to really move my upper body, I can, but I would prefer just to mobilize with my internal rotation for 3. Now I'm going to do 6 of these as well. I'm going to find that internal rotation that'll hold at the apex, so it's not moving with momentum. Now, if you need to use your hand to give it a little bit of assistance, that is totally fine. We're just going to hold it, and finding that internal movement and gently float it down. Let's swing that leg all the way around. We're going to give ourselves a nice little release, opening up through that hip, keeping our spines long. Even if we're lengthening forward, we're not rounding in the low back. We just want that stretch in the hip. Just breathing gently. Gently release. Now, if you want, you can twist into it. If you are prenatal, or very recently postnatal, twisting the other way isn't better, or you can always just stay in the position with the 2 knees crossed. I'm going to twist in, but that is up to your own discretion. Twisting open is a lot better for you if you are prenatal for sure. Let's go ahead and gently release, and let's do that whole sequence on the other side, making that little mermaid tail, bringing that top leg behind you. Again, my front hand is on the floor. My hips are pretty square. My pelvic floor is engaged. I'm not dumping down, but I'm going to, again, find that nice movement. My heel is going to stay anchored. My hip's going to stay anchored, and I'm going to rotate from the knee, finding that glutes. And 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. We're going to hold it for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Now again, I'm going to let that heel kind of slide out a little bit, finding that rotation, lifting from the heel. And I'm trying not to move my hips too much, but really from the femur head for 3. And 4. And 5. And 6, holding it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gently release it down. And again, swing it around, crossing those knees, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening from the spine, trying not to create any kind of collapse. Now, you can always use like a ball or something like that in front of you if you're feeling like you want a little bit more support, but you do not necessarily need it. You can also round fully forward, but I kind of like it if I'm a little bit long, grounding down through the back of that hip, and then just get that nice gentle stretch into those hips. This just feels so lush. And then I'm going to hug that knee in. Again, if I am prenatal, I'm going to twist open. If I am feeling like I don't want to do that, but I can also just cross my knees and maintain that first stretch. But otherwise, I'm going to twist into it. I'm going to lengthen through the spine, creating little to no collapse through the spine. Just breathing gently. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and gently release, coming out of that. Alrighty, now I am going to want another little prop for this. I'm going to grab this yoga block over here. Now, you don't necessarily have to use a yoga block. You can use a cushion or a pillow, but you want to have your neck nice and supported. Threading my bottom arm down to come to laying on my side. I'm pulling my ribs in, taking that nice connection, and I'm sitting with my pelvis nice and connected as I rotate open. I'm kind of sitting heels, hips, shoulders, head, so that as I rotate open, I'm nice and supported and in alignment for 2. Inhale to rotate open. Exhale, using those obliques to close. And again, inhale. And exhaling, release. Now I'm going to use my hand on my hip. I'm going to find internal rotation of the legs. And 2. And 3. One more time for 4. Now if you want to do more of these, you always can. As I find that nice little butterfly for 2. And 3. One more time for 4. Now I'm going to hold that. I'm going to find that same internal rotation, kind of like I was finding with my knee when I was lifting my heel up and leaving the knee down. And 3, one more time for 4, and keep that nice and connected. Bring the foot behind me, extending that bottom leg, connecting all the way up to the pelvic floor. Adduction, inner thighs. 2, flexing that foot nice and strong. 3, like I'm balancing a little candle on my heel. 4, 5, and 6. Hold, 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 hold. And very gently point the toe, little circles. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we get to reverse it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little hold, lift, 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 and release. I'm going to take my top knee behind me, heel behind me, rolling back, bringing my knee towards the floor. And if you have a cushion, you can move it out from under the way. And you can reach both arms overhead, and you're getting that gorgeous stretch all the way down the body, from the rib to the hip, down into the quads, releasing through that hip flexor. Gently roll to your side, stack both of your legs, use your top leg and arm together to kind of kick and push up. I kind of ended up kicking the ball, but you can extend that leg fully. Let's switch that to the other side. You're going to very gently use again that top hand, threading the bottom hand under. Draw those ribs in. And again, it's nice and connected. Heels, hips, shoulders, head. Top hand is on the shoulders. We rotate open and exhale, squeezing it closed. And again for 2. And squeezing it closed. And 3. And squeezing it closed. And 4. And squeezing it closed. Keeping that rib connection, keeping those heels nice and connected. Find that internal rotation. And again for 2. Lifting from those heels. And 3. Minimizing as much as you can through the hips. 4. And I'm going to lift that top knee for 4. And 3. And 2, and 1. Now we're going to add that medial tip, tapping down, medial rotation from the heel, rotate open. 2, rotate open. And 3, still keeping those low abs working. And again for 4. And rotate open, tap that foot behind you, extending the bottom leg, connecting all the way up through, finding that pelvic floor, lift, watching that sickle in the foot for 2. And 3. And 4, and 5, and 6. Let's make that nice little hold and hold and hold. 2, and 1, and let's point and reach through that toe as we circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's reverse it. 5, breathing. 4, maintaining that connection. And 2, 1, and hold, and gently float that back and down. Again, draw that knee in, reaching it behind you, rolling down through that hip, drawing the knee towards the floor, removing that cushion or pillow under your head, reaching the arms overhead, feeling that nice big stretch. I love this stretch. It feels so lush. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your top hand and top leg, moving them together to help you come up. Now, we're not quite done with that yoga block. We're going to go ahead and grab that again as we going to move into a few more stretches. So we've got our yoga block. We've got a little bit of space. Let's get a little bit more of our stretch on. We're going to come to a bit of a kind of groin and inner thigh stretch. You're going to take your yoga block out in front of you. I'll turn on the diagonal so it's a little bit easier to see. It's because you're not going to want to collapse. You're going to reach forward, taking that nice big stretch, breathing gently for 10, keeping the knee of the long leg towards the ceiling. 2, and 3, 4, try not to round, 5, and 6. I'm going to walk in. Now I'm going to very gently keep my opposite hand to foot. It's going to help me rotate my shoulder open as I reach up and over and reach towards that long leg. And my head is looking down to create little to no tension in the neck and throat. Just breathing gently. Let's recover that up, and we're going to go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to all turn this way again so you can kind of see me as I reach forward, reaching nice and long. Getting that nice stretch, keeping my back nice and flat. I'm not going to just collapse into it, but I want to keep a nice long neck. Again, keeping the long legs, kneecap towards the ceiling. Just breathing gently. Just enjoying how we like to open up into each of our stretches. Let's go ahead and walk in. Again, opposite hand to foot, reaching up and over, taking that gorgeous big side bend. Kind of looks like I'm patting Elliot's butt, but I am not. I would make him a giant dog. Reaching to the side, getting that gorgeous big stretch. And again, taking the focus wherever feels comfortable for your neck. Let's go ahead and bring that first leg forward. My right leg is going to go over. Now I'm going to very gently lengthen through the spine and kind of lengthen again forward, opening up through that hip, trying not to round through my back. Lengthening up nice and tall. Now you can always reach forward, clasping your own foot, finding that nice flex in the leg that is in the figure 4. As long as you can keep your upper back nice and long, you can do whatever you want, basically. But it's really nice sometimes to kind of put not pressure on the knee, but pressure on the thigh with the elbow to kind of open it up. And I'm using my same hand as long leg to kind of create a little bit of stability up on that yoga block, creating that long, gorgeous spine. Let's go ahead and we are going to bring that in. And let's actually sit up nice and tall and pop that foot in and give ourselves a little bit of a rock side to side, making sure that knee doesn't collapse in towards you. I love this one. It just feels really nice. It feels really mobilizing in through the whole pelvic girdle because you're getting all those lovely attachment points. Just breathing gently. Now let's go ahead and slide that leg out and we're going to switch you to the other side. And I'll turn on this angle so it's a little bit easier to see. Again, I'm having that nice figure 4, turning that thigh bone out. And if this is always too much, you can place that foot on the ground instead of over on top of the other thigh, finding the position that feels right for you. Again, no pressure on the knee joint, but on the thigh if you want to increase that external rotation. And you're going to just take that nice stretch, flexing and reaching through the long leg if that is something that is accessible to you today. Just breathing gently. Alrighty, let's bring our hands back, sliding that knee in, externally rotating, make sure it's still pushed out and the foot is nice and flexed as you rock that side to side, releasing and mobilizing those hips. This feels so good. I always feel like I can kind of luxuriate through my range of motion. Just enjoying this time. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall, sliding that leg out. And go ahead and take a moment just to sit however feels comfortable for you. Take a nice big inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Nice big exhale, cueing that parasympathetic nervous system. You just roll those shoulders, and I hope you feel good, and I hope I will see you again. Have a wonderful day, and you can always check out more at helenawellness.com. Thanks so much, and see you soon.